Wait a second, this is the wrong video. 1, 2, test 1, 2. Welcome back to your next lesson. Today we're talking about lo-fi. It's lo-fi week, lo-fi day 4. We are talking about what lo-fi is. How does the rhythm work? How does its rhythms work? What should we be doing when we make a lo-fi song? How are we looking into this? What even is lo-fi? We're talking about it. Let's get to it. Quick recap, lo-fi stands for low fidelity, which means we are going to have mistakes in our song. This is a low fidelity song, it's low production. We want background sounds to be coming in and mixing with our music. People talking, radio pops, radio scratches, maybe even muffling the song through the wall. Who knows? It's up to you. But we gotta talk about what lo-fi is. Lo-fi, in general, is a song genre that's supposed to help people focus. How does it do this? My hypothesis is that lo-fi does this by being very uninteresting, but interesting some of the time. Basically, we have a song that is in the background, but not taking our full attention, only a little bit of our attention. And we have to include these random pops, these off notes, these mixed up parts that don't sound right to keep pulling at our attention and keep focusing on it so it's never fully blocked out. Now, do not get me wrong, lo-fi is a wonderful genre with some very good songs in it. I just believe that lo-fi could be a much more interesting genre and still accomplish what it does. But I'm still doing research on that. That's a talk for the end of the week. That's what my plan for the end of the week is. Now, let's talk about traditional lo-fi songs. What are they? Well, let's put one on now. This is Symbolic Love by Platinum Dust. As always, we got a link in the description. Please go check it out. This is another song that is a Spotify only song, but as I've recently been told, I'm going to also give a link to the topics channel so that if their creator ever makes a YouTube list, a YouTube account, they'll be automatically subscribed to that. So, let's get to it. This is one of my favorite songs because I think it very well proves my point. This is not a traditional lo-fi song. Those are often with radio pops or with rain sound effects or just people talking in the background. What I love most about this song is that it accomplishes that weirdness that you kind of need in a lo-fi song with these waveforms, and I think this is really interesting and I like it a lot. Now, you may have noticed that there are radio pops on this song. That's intentional. The song has some radio pops, which does help it maintain its lo-fi identity, but I don't think it needs them. In fact, I think you could get rid of the radio pops and it'd be a perfectly normal lo-fi song. But they're here, and they prove a point. They prove an example, a really good one, of what I'm talking about when I say radio pops. Also, this song is just great. I like this song. This song's good. So let's get into the few things you need when you're making a lo-fi song. From my observations, we got trap beats. Trap beats are wonderful because they help provide something that's essential for a lo-fi song, which is a clear snap. Just a very clear, that was a terrible snap. Snap. This is a identity for a lo-fi song. You have this blending of sounds in the background, and they are supposed to blend. The songs, the harmonies, the melodies, they all blend together, which really lets the drums pop. And they need to pop because something needs to pop. And you listen to most lo-fi songs and you'll find that there's at least one thing that is a lot clearer, a lot more acoustic than anything else. This helps bring out what I believe is the main focus of a lo-fi song. It is blending in the background, fading into your mind, then you have these instruments that pop, or these misplaced notes, these radio pops, this rain, just anything that is an irregular sound compared to everything else, or really acoustic and a lot louder and clearer than everything else. And they come in and they keep pulling your attention back into the song. And this helps people just not think as many thoughts. It helps them focus. Now, it doesn't work for everyone. Only about 88%, I believe, is the statistic. But it's been a few years since I've checked that. I should really check that before I say it. Who cares? It's the internet. No one lies on the internet. Nothing changes on the internet. Seriously though, I should check that. Hey, your Nexus in editing here. Turns out I lied. I have no idea where I'm getting the statistic, and after research I can't find anywhere else that does. Well, I have found a few mentions, but I don't really trust them. They're not trustworthy sources. So just pretend like this section never happened. Thank you. I'll probably have it up on the screen with what I find. But let's just talk about it. So we got that trap beat. What I think is also a really important characteristic of lo-fi songs is that they're often really slow. Each note can last measures of time, and it really just takes its time. There's no fastness in a lo-fi song. You have the beat that's pushing basically everything forward. Without the beat, there's barely any movement within these songs. So, this song, I was exaggerating a little bit when they said they could last measures, but you can tell with this song that each note just rings out and just has its time. There's no rush here, which honestly is the feel of lo-fi. It's relaxing, it takes its time, it lets you focus. It's the point, and I really like that. Although I have some qualms about the genre, it's a good genre. I like it, and I enjoy lo-fi music quite a bit. I've used it to study before, and it definitely works for me. But we're getting a little bit off topic here. Lo-fi music itself has a very formulaic identity, and I think that's a really shame, a bit of pity. But it's basically you have the melody and the harmony just with these longer lasting notes that progress through their chord progressions without any sense of worry or rush or impatience. They take their time, and I like that. Then you have the trap beat that just it's never also rushed. Instead, it's just a really standard beat that just plays a little bit slow for a trap beat, actually, but not too much slower. And it's just a little bit more acoustic, so it stands out a bit more. And since it changes instruments a little bit more often with the it feels a little bit faster, but it really isn't that much faster. And of course, you have some parts that are really acoustic, and they stand out a lot more among the I'm just gonna call it the soup for now, the music soup in the background. That's just how it is. I think that's really good. I like that. This is a genre that is very unique in what it does. It's a genre that's very unique in how it treats itself, and I like that. So before I go on any more tangents, I'm just going to recap what we talked about and then finish off this episode, okay? So we talked about the lo-fi genre and how it's a little bit formulaic. We talked about how each instrument works. We talked about how the beat it has, which is almost always a trap beat, but it could be a simple rock beat too, if I didn't mention that earlier. Ultimately, it is up to the artist to make a lot of these decisions, but typically you have a harmony that is unrushed, longer notes. You can accomplish this by having the notes ring out over top of other notes, which is a little bit of a tip from me. Then we have the acoustic part, and we have to have some part of the song be a little bit acoustic to be a attention draw, to pull the focus back in. On that topic, we talked about how lo-fi songs, low fidelity, is typically includes unwanted traits, and that's directly from the wiki, where it's like radio pops, rains of the sounds of the background, misplayed notes, things that typically aren't in a normal song or a high fidelity song. They seep into the low fidelity songs, the lo-fi songs, and they give it a unique characteristic and a little bit of a charm. So yeah, that's lo-fi. Well, that's how you make a lo-fi song. So yeah, bye, I guess. You think I'm having too much fun with this? Nah.